Forum WEF in Davos, Switzerland. All right, a spokesperson, Mr. Stanley Nwakocha, actually put Nwakocha, I beg your pardon, put it well. Now, according to Shettima, though, serious matters or of investors getting into the country to invest, they can now take fettered advantage of Nigeria's growing investment climate to tap from the limitless opportunities in the country and the African continent. Well, he also told that forum that the tales that they heard about the country and the African continent as a whole were not really that of doom. I mean, it's or even that of gloom, that it was being painted by some doomsday proponents. In fact, he said, for 20 years I have been in the Nigerian banking industry. I was a general market in Nigeria's largest bank, and he says, I grew up in that ecosystem. The president himself is a seasoned chartered accountant. But we move away from that just when we thought that Shettima had made that prediction and pronouncement, and of course representing Nigeria in good light out there in Davos, Switzerland. We have also seen where a Governor Bagudu, right, had come out to also adding his voice in the same discourse, saying that the president is steered the economy in the right direction. Now, which governor is this, or rather, I beg your pardon, a minister, and I beg, is not a governor, is a minister of budget and economic planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, saying that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, steered the country or the economy in the right direction, and that the president was determined to stay the course, right? Now, he spoke during the defense of his ministry's financial estimates before the National Assembly Joint Committees on National Planning in Abuja. All right, so he said the Tinubu's administration, economic reforms were working and the economy was on the path to full recovery. Now, it doesn't even just stop there. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is expecting, right? CBN is also having its own outlook in the discourse this morning. And the governor right there has also put out his voice, clarifying that the economy in itself is having a projection of 4.17% GDP growth for 2025. All right? Senator Bagudu says the administration economic reforms are working. Kashim Shettima, whilst out there representing Nigeria, for, is it they call that one the Humanitarian and Resilience Investing Roadmap for Africa, right? World Economic Forum 2025 in Davos, Switzerland, has also come out to saying that, oh, yes, with the wealth of experience that he has, he himself, as the vice president, having worked in a very large, popular bank in Nigeria for years, right, holding the high echelon of power in that bank up until his leaving the bank, as well as the Mr. President being a chartered accountant, that it does spell rightly for the country. But we'll be having this conversation, with our guest, who is in the person of Mr. Adefolari Olamilekan. He is indeed a seasoned economist and has added his voice to quite a number of discourses out there. And we will try to match all of these, right, with the reality on ground. What is the current state of the Nigerian economy? And how can the economic reforms that has been talked about affect it? What is the current state? Because this is all about the current state of the economy, which has been facing various challenges in recent years. And that would be including decline in oil prices, inflation, and a shortage of foreign exchange. Now, however, though, the introduction of economic reforms by the Tinubu administration, there should be some sense of optimism that the economy is on the path to recovery. But Nigerians, are you optimistic in this regard? When you put it side by side, the testimonies, the predictions, the projections of these well-meaning Nigerians, all right? Kashim Shettima, Vice President, right? And we have Bagudu too, also putting his voice out there, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, saying that, well, the president has steered the country's economy in the right direction. In fact, we are at the place of recovery and taking over already. But then, can we indeed boisterously say that that is the case, as it were, when we look at our own projected reality? Should we give it some more time? Because some would say that the Tinubu administration's reforms are not short-term, they are long-term. And that anything that was destroyed will take a couple of time, one step at a time, to build. Yet others are saying, at what speed and at what pace? How long shall we wait? It is easier, they say, to destroy than to build. So maybe we're in the building process. Is that the reason we can't get it rightly in ensuring that the lives that have been under the heat of the serious strains in the economy that has led to untimely deaths, that has led to hardship, that has led to hunger, poverty, that has greed, mischief, and every other social vice as you know it, that we can't really bring some succor to these lives. The CBN's economic projection, though, for 2025 is quite optimistic, with the GDP expected to accelerate to 4.17% from 3.36% in 2024. So this growth is actually anchored on sustained implementation of government reforms, stable crude oil prices, and improvement in domestic oil production. But the inflation rate is projected to decline due to the impact of economic reforms, with a targeted inflation rate of 15% in 2025. Remember, the president actually made mention of that in 2025 he's looking at bringing the inflation rate, which is already at 34.8%, to 15%. Right? And the government is making deliberate strides to indeed diversify its revenue streams and reduce dependence on the volatile oil sector. So what are exactly the factors that are, what's the factor? What are the factors, driving the predicted GDP growth? And how are these factors impacting, the economy is another question that is very valid, especially when you look at the fact that we are still monopolistic in terms of our source of revenue, which is oil. When we look at the need to call for a diversification, which we've been calling over and over time, but yet experts have come on here to say that we are diversified. Then you look at, if we are diversified, we should be able to begin to look at industries for some of these sectors. But do we have these industries, the ones that have yet survived? Are they still alive, or they've been unalived by certain policies, which is still accrued to the forms that is repositioning the country and putting us in a better light? Some questions there, right? And then We keep talking about how we want to improve, develop, go through the ICT sector and make sure that we grow the economy. And yet, Nigerians are wanting to see, beyond reasonable doubt, how indulging that process is. Hence, how much reaching out has been put out there. How much opportunities are there for Nigerians to tap into, ensuring that our growth, our development, and the predictions by the CBN, the good words of affirmation and good tidings from the Vice President, and of course the economic outlook by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, is indeed the reality of what we see in our daily lives as we live through this journey of life. So it goes a long way to saying it shouldn't just stop at saying, oh, we are making progress. But we should see hands down plans put down there to give us that self-worth, to allow for us to be able to trust the government, the system, and work towards achieving a future that is not individualistic but collective. And it takes us to also looking into the fact that some of these economic reforms introduced by the President's administration, they are aimed at diversifying the economy, reducing dependence on oil, exports. And the government has introduced policies to support entrepreneurship. Yes, give it to them. The business environment, but how far? At what level? And increase investment in key sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing. Well, let's go hear it from our guest now, Mr. Adefolarin. Okay, well, that is a miss right there. Well, we'll just try to connect again with him and see how far this conversation can go. But for you, from your own part, from the place where you are at, and having critically studied the trends, can you boldly say that all of these reports or reportage, from the Vice President to the Minister of Budgets, right? Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, and to even the President, who has made some very loud statements right there, that we are really on the path to economic growth and recovery. I mean, how many industries, or do we have industrialization in this parts of the world? Do we have a place of specialization in this part of the world, in this country? Are those who are specialized indeed brought into the stream system to add their knowledge, advancing the cause of the economy? Or are they being relegated and seen as some nerds who should only remain as nerds because they don't know what politicking is, or they don't know what the politics is? Just yesterday we had, an ex-IPOC stakeholder right there who came in here and spoke to us. In fact, one of the things that he said is some persons in the place of leadership, not because they don't know what to do, they do know what to do, but they are very careful to giving it in their sharing formula. By sharing, I mean in allotting it to people who are deemed credible to fix or to sort these challenges. So it is best left to those who are my affiliates, those who are my associates, those who are my family members, those who are of my party. If they are not my party, then they are my enemy. Those who share the same ideology with me. So whether or not they are concrete or not they are eligible, whether or not they are legit, it doesn't matter. Let's just put them there because they are of my fraternity. So if you belong to another tribe, another religion, another political party, another ideology, even though you are the type that would bring the success, give answers to the multifarious problems that we face as a people, as a country, then you cannot get any position or be in a place through recommendation to fix and bring about a solution. Mr. Adefolari, are you there?
Yes, very good morning.
Yeah. So, well, there's not much to talk about because we've been hammering on economy for quite some time, and I think it's only natural for us to do so because it is believed that when the economy of a country is indeed at a place of bolstering, it will affect even the life and the livelihood of the individuals or citizenry within that country. Hence, we have heard the big talk coming in from the Vice President Shettima whilst attending an economic forum somewhere in Davos, Switzerland, talking about how the Tinubu administration is working to enhance and bring the economy to a place of appreciation. We've heard the Minister of Budget and Planning also speaking good, speaking tough, speaking loud, speaking big. Oh, Nigeria's economy with the Tinubu administration reform is indeed yielding, the desired outcome. Even the president has also put his voice out. I mean, Wale Edun, finance minister, he had also put his voice out. Everybody seems to be speaking the same language. Why then are these languages not seemingly the language of the reality of the average Nigerian? Can you help us unbundle this? Are we really in the path towards economic progress?
I think, to be frank, should I go ahead?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I think, to be frank and to be fair on this discussion, we have to look at all round peg. We must put a round peg in a round hole. Interestingly, the economic principles, economic principles, economic policy of government is driven by capitalist economic system which we are practicing. And if the government says that the economy is being set to the right course, the economy is buoyant, the economy is growing, it is all on paper. Reason being that it is the nominal growth of the economy we are looking at. The nominal growth talk about the numbers that is going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. That's what the government is saying. But translating these numbers into the reality of every Nigerian is where the difficulty is. And again, as I earlier pointed out, it's a capitalist system economy that focus on nominal growth, that focus on just the growth aspect. But the growth must translate to physical and feasible development. And that physical and feasible development is when you see growth in employment, you see reduction in poverty, you see growth and development in housing, you see growth and development in infrastructure, you see growth and development in affordable and availability of food. And you also see security of life being at 100%. Even if you can't get 100%, at least 80% minimum, you get it. So then Nigerians can appreciate what the government is saying. But at this point in time, so the government, the economy is growing, fine, we agree. But is the economy developing? That is where we are finding it difficult to understand. Because there is difference between growth. The government, when the government is talking about the economy, they only mention growth. They don't mention development. And that's where they normally find it difficult. Why they are finding it difficult to mention development? Because they know that the reality of growth is development. I want to give growth more meaningful understanding is development. So development is lacking. And development in simple terms, we talk about progress, talk about transformation, talk about advancement in the life of people, but that's what is missing. So growth will be continued to be announced by the government because they know that it is only growth. Interested parties across the world are looking for all those big companies that you see all around the world. What they're looking for is growth. Oh, your economy is growing. Let us come and invest. But at the end of the day, they will know that there is a difference between growth and development. And Nigerian people are aware of development. But on the government side is the growth, which is the number they are mentioning.
Well, in terms of development, let me take it up from there. Do we not have Nigerians who are also very particular about developing the country? Maybe it's time for us to look inwardly and say, hey, enough of trying to woo this in the international community. Maybe we should create an enabling environment and see how entrepreneurship can thrive, and allowing the private sector, to have a field, share, a field day, or in revitalizing, the economy. What do you think?
I think that would be the right way to go. But there's a misconception of how to grow, how to ensure that we develop the economy locally, with local investors, local entrepreneurs, local innovators. Every entrepreneur, every innovator you are seeing is looking for government to give them money. And that's not the way to grow the economy, but to develop the economy from an homegrown economy policy. See, what the government needs to do is, from what we are saying, is for us to practicalize is one, create the enabling environment, provide water, provide light, provide roads, provide security, ensure that the registration and fees, tax that businesses will pay will not be burdensome on them. Then allow the individual to begin to raise capital through private investment in banks and others. But it's really whereby every entrepreneur is looking for government patronage, that government to come and give them money to set up the business, government to give them credit. It will not go because most of this money has seen our Father Christmas, they will just waste it, and even the volatility nature of distributing the money, this is a problem. So for me, as you rightly asked, homegrown economic policy is good, but we must differentiate government creating an enabling environment from government giving people money. Because when you say government creating an enabling environment for business to thrive, the next thing people will be asking is that when are they going to begin to give money? When is Bank of Industry begin to distribute money? When is Bank of Development Bank will begin to distribute money to SMEs? Those are the things that people think. So that is not the way to go. But government must concentrate on infrastructure development for enabling environment for business to develop. And one of the key things is that their policy must support homegrown. The CBN must ensure that interest rate doesn't reflect what bank in US is talking, what bank in UK is talking. Because most times when our interest rate or NPR rate go up, it is because we are looking at international banks, other banks outside the country, and what they are doing, particularly Reserve Bank of US, Bank of England, another international bank, European bank. So what they are fixing in terms of their rate is what CBN also look at. And the reason why they are doing that because they are expecting outsiders to come and invest. Because outsiders look at a higher interest rate of the economy and it gives them the morale to come and invest. And that's not the way to go. So the only thing is that you cannot isolate Nigerian economy from international economy. Because it is a capitalist build economy. And that is why you see what we are seeing and what we are experiencing right now.
Right, by capitalist viewed economy, what do you mean? Let's just break that down maybe in a short, in 2 lines.
Okay, this is what it means. I did mention that when people want to make emphasis or want to make announcement about NPR, that is the monetary policy, they look at what European bank are saying. They look at what US bank are saying. They look at what Bank of England are saying. It has a link because it is a simple arithmetic. All the policy economy that we see that Nigeria is practicing, it is a broad policy economy. Private sector injection, it is borrowed. Public sector has been asked not to invest in money, not to go into business. It is borrowed. So when we now say capitalist economic system, it means that it has to be privately driven. Government will always make policy on the basis of what other capitalist countries are saying about the economy. And that's why I see that most of our economic policy is driven by what is done outside Nigeria.
All right, well, let's just go on a recess. We'll come back, and when we do come back after the recess, you get to also look at how we can indeed encourage our homegrown, businesses, and see how we can consolidate on them to ensuring that we don't have that misconception, right? And other matters in the coming minutes. Don't go away. Well, we're still here, and we'll go on a recess. We'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Hello Nigeria. Hello Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained, certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll for Push Africa's one-year diploma in certified nursing assistant training at the African University College of Science and Technology, Abuja. Targeted trainees are unemployed graduates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-42015, 080-550-45801. For registration, pick up application form at our partner radio stations or visit the reception at the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just
20,000 naira?
Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. Hurry now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
And so we're back. This is Eagles 102.3 FM's Eagles Breakfast Show. And yes, this is Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. And the politics of the day spoken about and still ongoing has been Nigeria's economic growth and development predictions. I mean, we got the CBN predicting a 4.17% GDP growth for 2025. Senator Bagudu stating that the administration's economic reforms are working and the economy is on the path towards a full recovery. And the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, as of Tuesday, 2 days ago, said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was working hard to make Nigeria an investment destination in Africa. However, our guest is Mr. Adefolari Olamileko, and he is a seasoned economist, as he's adding his voice in the discourse. You too have a question that you want to put out there, you have some contribution that you want to share, you can as well do that by calling the number 0907-353-0044, 0907-353-0044, or better still, get onto the WhatsApp portal number and leave us a WhatsApp message on 0909-705-4450. Very vital, the conversation about the economy, as quite a number of persons have believed, as well as the experts believe, that if we do not indeed have a healthy economy, it does mean that we do not have a healthy citizenry. All right, so Adefolari, are you there, by the way?
Yes, very well.
Yes.
I'm here.
Right, so there are some concerns. I mean, there are first a concern that borders around, do we not know that we are following a module that is internationally accepted from the international world, when we're supposed to be creating a module that works with our economy? Do we not know that? That's one. Secondly, are there no ways in ensuring that we encourage startups, entrepreneurs in Nigeria to focus Nigeria, to think Nigeria, and to not have a misconception that every time We are talking about indigenous growth, building of industries, building of capacity, in Nigeria. It is about government, give me money. We want money.
Should I respond?
Yes, please.
Now, let's take the first question first, talking about Nigerians, looking at opportunities that could be, gotten inside. I have made mention of something earlier. I said Nigeria cannot be accelerated for international economy. If you go back memory lane to how Nigeria got independent, colonization, and the rest of them, Nigerian economy has already been internationalized in a way that our economy has been disarticulate and arranged in a manner that it will follow international economic order. And international economic order is on the brains of capitalism. So there is nothing that we want to do now that will allow us to escape the rocks that capitalism will melt on us. I will give us two examples. There are three major economic institutions that control the economy of the world. We have IMF, we have World Bank, we also have World Trade Organization. What do you think that these three organizations are doing? IMF control your monetary policy. World Bank control your development policy. WTO control your trade policy. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Now, these three organizations control everything that every country on the face of the earth is doing. And what they do is to ensure that they will tell you what they will do in a way, on the paper is to say, you are trying to ensure that your economy is balanced, you have enough money for your people, there's driving investment into your country. But at the end of the day, detriment. Check the entire 54 African countries. Where are they? Forget the rush to Rwanda. Forget the rush to South Africa. They're all feeling all this impact of these international bodies. Then, except you want to end the rush of some of these international bodies, as well as the countries that are backing them up, from US to UK to European Union. These are the people that back them up. So if you want to end their rush, just take a look at what is happening to Zimbabwe economy. Just take a look at what is happening to countries that are already against the stance of some of the international capitalist system. They will bring all their, and we have studies in our system. We have people who believe that this is the system, this is the way to go. Elite economists who believe that you must follow the precedence of economic principles that all these people are prescribing for us. And what they earn, what those our elite earn is that they earn some 50%. That's why you see consultant any money from World Bank. In Nigeria, you see consultant at World Bank any money, and or IMF any money. All these things have been put in place so that those intellectuals will not be okay, who are the average. Then the politicians can be doing whatever they do. Then, but ordinary people will suffer. Just recently, I know you have been following up on what is happening in the telecommunication sector. High tariff. And you ask yourself, why do we have high tariff in the telecommunication sector? Because they are complaining of devaluation of naira that affected their base money. Talks about what they have been earning in dollar. That because of the naira devaluation, it has affected them not to be able to recoup their money. And you have to say, why are we having this problem? Then back to the other set of your question about startup in Nigeria. Since 1999, government has been investing in startup. Government has been investing in entrepreneurship. But at the end of the day, they are not putting the money in the right place. As I earlier pointed out in our discussion, creating an enabling environment is to provide infrastructure that will assist businesses to grow. And I made mention that one of the key issues is to provide opportunity for business to access credit on their private level, not from government side.
Okay.
All this money that government have been putting in, where the Bank of Industry is distributing 200 billion, and Development Bank is distributing 200 billion. All those money are just wasted money because those money will be given to individuals to go and do business. By the time they come back to their business environment, they will discover that they don't have light, they don't have good roads, they don't have insecurity. Money will just be wasted away. But when government stand on its own and provide all these things and say, okay, we have done, there's 24 hours light in Nigeria, there's water, there's good health facility, there's good roads. Who will go and ask government for money? You will by your own, you'll be investing your little money into your business and you'll be growing. But it's mentioned that the infrastructure is not there and you now want the business to grow and say startup. And again, about this issue of startup, we should be very careful about it. It is also a capitalist innovative idea whereby a group of people will be giving money and those group of people will come and invest the money in the economy and they'll be taking our money out. Look at what is happening in the financial sector. All these, although you not allow me to mention their names, all these fintech, how much are they collecting? How much are they making? How many people have lost money to them? So you must be very careful about startup issue because startup issue for me is another top two capitalist innovative ideas just to ensure that Nigerians embrace entrepreneurship. But where would they get the money from? And when the money is given to them, where did they put the money? They put it into a wasted environment that doesn't have infrastructure to support the businesses.
Right. Well, taking your calls in a short bit, 0907 353 0044 will be that number that you should call. It is 0907 353 0044. And the WhatsApp portal number where you can just send a WhatsApp message to would be 0909 705 4450. That is 0909 705 4450. Now, there are some too that we should look at. I mean, one of the statements, or some of the statements by these stakeholders would include Senator Bagudu saying the Tinubu's administration's economic reforms are working and the economy is on the path to full recovery. Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi, the CBN's economic projections for 2025 are optimistic, with the GDP expected to accelerate to 4.17% from 3.36% in 2024. Let's take this call. All right, that's it, though. Keep the calls coming through. And we saw President Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying we are committed to achieving a higher growth rate that will include all Nigerians. What do you think should be the expectations of Nigerians at this point in time, especially when we look at the fact that the economy is going through its own challenges, and yet we are having rhetorics that gives us the feeling of hope, a sensationalism that everything is seeming good. What should be our expectations, and what are the implications?
Now, first, the expectation of Nigerians is to have a 3 square meals a day. Nigerian expectation from the government is for them to be able to afford 3 square meals a day. 2, expectation of Nigeria and the government is to have employment generation. People who are out of job, either you are employed or underemployed, either you are a seasonal employee or whatever, they want to have full employment, sustainable employment. That's the expectation of Nigerians. There's another expectation of Nigerians to the government to have a secure life where there is no guaranteed safety. Then another expectation of Nigerians is to have road infrastructure that guarantees motorable roads, accessible roads. Those are the expectations of Nigerians. Another expectation of Nigerians to the government is health facilities that will guarantee their safety. If they are sick, they can go to hospital, they have drugs, they have all those things, and they have doctors to treat them. Another expectation of Nigerians that they want quality education. If you want to be educated to a university level, you have it. Nobody is saying government will provide free education. No, but at least quality and affordable education. Then on the part of the wrong notion that we are having about this growth. See, World Bank 2 days back predicted the Nigerian economy will grow by 3.5%. Now, the figure is saying it grow by 4.17%, that is 4.73%. Then in the budget of 2025, the government is looking at about 3.7%. So, you get it. So, all these projections are good on paper, but the reality is that it is missing in terms of the impact on the life of ordinary Nigerians. When we talk about growth of the economy, we're talking about the generality of every productive sector of the economy growing. Manufacturing, financial sector, oil and gas, agriculture, education, all of them, what they are going to contribute together to make the economy big is what they are talking about, which is about 4.17% they are looking at. But when you now break that into specimens of how this can translate into the impact of every Nigerian, it could be missing because the growth is just number, but the development aspect of it is missing.
All right.
And that's what I said when the beginning of this discussion, that we need a development projection, not a growth projection. The projection will tell you that, okay, if the economy is growing by 10%, what it means is that the government has been able to move 50 million Nigeria out of unemployment. Now, the economy is growing by 4.17%. It means that the federal government has been able to move 100 millions of Nigerians out of poverty. When the government says the economy is growing by 4.17%, it means that the government has been able to construct over 200 million houses for Nigerians. Not for free, but houses that is affordable. When the government says, okay, the economy has grown by 1.7%, it means that the affordable food production in Nigeria, that we now have excesses in our warehouse and our storage houses. That should be the translation of the growth projection they are talking about, not on paper to attract FPI, which is foreign portfolio investors, and FBI that will not have anything to show for the economy.
Let's put it back to your thoughts. Take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Well, I will see what I can do. Hello.
Yes, good morning, please.
Good morning.
GB.
How are you?
Yeah. Is this GB?
My name is GB.
All right. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Wuse.
All right, talk to us, GB.
Good morning to your guest.
Right.
I think that is Folarin.
Yes, Ade Folarin. Go ahead.
Okay. Folarin, Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You see, he has spoken very well and he's always very articulate and elaborate in his analysis. You see, the government, people, the populace are expecting much from the government. When I say much, I mean much. And they're expecting much from the federal government. The state government, which are closer to the people. And if you look at the budget, what the state government are sharing compared to the federal government is higher. But we always look for primary school education. We want the federal government to do it for us. We want the federal government to provide road in our local government, in our streets. Federal government to do and that. No, I think we need to really put pressure and let the populace be demanding from their governors developmental projects, infrastructure that will help, that will elevate the living. Like now, for farmers, the governors are not giving enough attention to agriculture. And they are the one that own the land. It's only in Abuja here the federal government can say, I can go to Jabi, I can go to Gwagwalada and take a plot of land. Nobody will query me. No federal government cannot go to any state and take 1 square meter of a land without the state governor approving it for them. What am I saying? Every input, every support, the federal government to build out the policy and support the farmers in the area of fertilizer and the rest. But the real work is in the hands of the state governor to engage the farmer with machinery and a lot of give them the land, provide all the needed amenities and the rest. Control road that lead the rural area farmers villages to the market so that the produce can get to the market, not getting rot in there.
Okay.
Go to Benue, go to all these places, you will see farm produce getting rot in the village because there's no transporting. What am I saying is that you ask a question, what are the people expecting from the government?
Yes, please.
And all he has given are more of the federal government. That federal government should do this. But what about the state government? The state government needs to do more in those areas. Like now, we have food insecurity in Nigeria. If the federal government today roll out 1,000 tractor, if the state government not give the land where they with that tractor, they'll be useless. They'll be useless. So let's put pressure on the state government to provide all this infrastructure and the rest and generate work. When they see, federal government cannot employ everybody. It can't employ for everybody. If the state governor can provide a environment, investors will come to their state and engage and establish business and employ the people in the state. So everybody come to Lagos, coming to Abuja in the federal capital, they will stay there, get employed and get paid and have a meaningful life. Now the state governor has been given license to generate power, to do rail and all those things. What are they doing in that area?
So GB, you're saying that the focus should also be given to the state government, right?
So the state,
all right,
because they have a lot to do. The impact is more from them to the people.
All right, GB.
The federal government.
Okay,
if there's
GB.
power sensitivity in the state, investors will invest in the state and get people employed in local government in all the villages, every area where people are, and then the economy will grow. And the money will flow. That's the revenue for people to spend. Thank you very much.
All right, GB, right there, putting his voice out. You have something in line or contrary to what GB says? Well, let's hear from our guest, though.
No. I think for GB has said it right. I will not disagree with him.
Okay, let's
on different platforms that have spoken on this issue. No, our conservation is up. The federal government has just told us what they are thinking. Each state will also have a projection of how the economy will grow in each respective state in 2025. That is very fantastic. I really love GB drawing our attention to that because each state has their own GDP calculation and they also can also project how much they are expecting their economy to grow. Right now, all states are passing budget 200 billion, 500 billion, 2 trillion. How much will that impact the economy? We should also be asking that question. It's a good one. Although many of us are concentrating on the federal government, which is the baba of the house.
But let's take this call.
to state government too.
Right. All right, that's a miss, though. Do well to keep the call coming through. Let's see how we can also drive the frontier of this conversation. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that we have a figurative growth and development for the economy, and yet is not replicated in the living standards or in the situation, in the reality, as it were. And there's also the thought about the fact that, hey, there's a need to indeed grow investment from, local investments, to invest in the economy and push for the furtherance of growth and development, and then the need to also not centralize it on the federal government alone, looking at the state government, to drive these reforms. But we'll just take this one now. Hello and good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, my brother. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Coco, calling you from Central Area.
Coco, welcome aboard. Talk to us, Coco.
Good morning to the guests and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So I want to say, yes, our Vice President may be right, or what you say, for the growth of the economy. But my own concern is that how impactful is the growth to the citizen? If you can see the price that we are buying fuel, the high right of the tariff and the rest, understand? Then that may boost the growth of the economy. But we are looking for the impact that the economy may build into the life of citizens. A common man now will not understand the growth of the economy.
Right.
I think as the economy is growing, we supposed to do development that a common man on the street will be able to benefit. It is not by seeing the growth, but the common man cannot sustain in a day. So government should help us by making sure that as the economy is improving, is growing, they also make it to affordable for the citizenry.
All right. Affordability for the citizenry is very important. That's what he's saying. Mr. Adefolari, what are your thoughts in this?
I think that is very fantastic from the caller. Improving the economy means to translate into a meaningful changes in the life of every Nigerian. There should be affordable food. There should be 3 square meals for every family. Households should be able to afford all their needs and take care of all their economic needs. Should be able to be taking school fees, and the rest of them should be taking transportation. These are the basic challenges Nigerians face: food, house rent, transportation, what to eat, what to wear, and these are the basic challenges. So if government doesn't tackle some of those basic challenges, they will not see any good in the rhetoric or theoretical pronouncement of government that the economy is doing. Until we see it physically that it's changing. There's affordable food. There's petrol price is coming down to affordable level that Nigerians can afford. Tariff here and there is also affordable, and there's good services coming from tariff hike and the rest of them. Nigerians will not complain, but when these are missing, they will definitely complain. And compare this to developed countries. What developed countries? See, developed countries also passing through challenges. But the difference between them and us is that those challenges they are passing through, their government is taking care of their basic needs. There's electricity, there's affordable food, there's cheap transportation, there's affordable homes, there's affordable housing. Then there's health facilities that take care of them, even in developed countries, they also have challenges with health. Then there's education for everybody that could be affordable. So these basic needs need to be taken care of. But here in Nigeria, they don't take care of these basic needs. So how do I expect Nigerians to now have that feeling that as the economy is growing, it is better for everybody? It is not. So we must draw the attention of state government to all these issues, because we must not align them out of disalign them from the issue. They are also correspondent to the issue of economic growth in Nigeria.
Well, I want to say a big thank you to you, Sir Adefolari Olamilekon, for adding your voice in the discourse today. We've been able to achieve that for us to indeed find or match, what is written in paper with the reality. There's a need to indeed improve the different facets of the economy, ensuring that the livelihood and the standard of living and the standard for life in the country is indeed, elevated, if I understand us correctly in the discourse this morning. And of course, that there's so much burden on the, focus on the federal and a little attention given to the states, and they have a part and a role to play in this entire process for us to indeed begin to get the gains of some of these rhetorics and not leave them at mere rhetorics by the highs and the mighty and those who are seated at the helm of affair in coordinating our economy as well as the country at large. But appreciate you once again. Thank you, Sir Defulari. Always a delight to have a conversation with you. We'll look forward to more conversations in the coming days.
All right, thank you so much for having me.
Right. And yes, to you that has also been a part of the discourse this morning, I still see your calls coming through, but no, it is already time up on this very segment of the breakfast show. But thank you far too kind, GB Coco, and to you that listen to wherever you may be. We appreciate you in